Sixers and seven. Welcome to another episode of the Cheesesteaks Intakes Podcast Show, the only multi-generational Philadelphia sports podcast show. Listen, guys, if you know anything about the Marshall family, you know that when my uncle Daryl calls, the Sixers, the Eagles, probably the Sixers are in some you-know-what. And that's what the Sixers are currently in. They are in some you-know-what, down 3-1 against the Boston Celtics. But we have my uncle Daryl on this podcast episode to talk about what's been going on in the series. My father's brother, big-time, long-time Philadelphia sports fan, big-time Sixers fan, former basketball player, collegiate basketball player at that. So I want to give a round of applause for my uncle Daryl making his podcast debut on this episode.
Thank you.
All right, so to climb on to what Kobe just said, he is correct. The only time my brother calls me is when Kelly Oubre messes up, when Tobias Harris messed up, when the Eagles offense just wet the bed. It's the only time
he's
he ever
calling
calls
you a
me.
lot. He's calling you a lot.
Yeah, and it's like whenever Tobias messed up, I'd give it like 10 seconds. Your uncle should be calling me in 5, 4, bring, and it was him. He's just complaining. That's our dynamic.
So I'm
It's
excited.
frustrating.
I'm excited to have you on here, Uncle. Just from hearing all your debates with my dad over the years, pure comedy, as all my family knows. So thank you for coming on the podcast.
You know I love my sisters. You guys met my sisters.
Yeah, well, thank you,
wish
Kobe. Thanks for the invite.
I always wish I had a brother, so to kind of talk sports with. So that's awesome. You guys get to do that.
So Uncle Daryl, obviously you've watched.
Yeah, well, thank you. Thanks for the invite.
Yep. So obviously you've watched the series. Sixers are down 3-1. I want to kick it to you first for your biggest takeaway because I know that you watched Game 4.
Hold it. Before we get to that, I do want that, Daryl. I got a couple questions when we have new guests. I'm sorry, Kobe. I don't mean to butt in. First, I got like 3 questions. First, I want your origin story. Like, how'd you become a Philly sports fan? Your passion, where'd you get this? Where'd you get it from?
Man, that's a great question, Chuck. And I'll tell you, from a basketball perspective, it started when I was probably 7 or 8 years old, and my father used to follow, the 76ers. And over the years, as a young guy, my father, my uncle, Herbie, mostly, would get into debates about, the Philadelphia 76ers. And just sitting back, listening to their conversations about where certain guys went to school. No, he didn't go to, LaSalle. He went to, St. Joe's or whatever the case may have been.
So Big 5 schools.
And absolutely. And back during the day when Prism was a thing, which was a cable network, and they would televise a lot of the 76ers games. My uncle Herbie would come over to our house, would drive from Philadelphia over to New Jersey, bring a bunch of his buddies. They sit around drinking beer, watching the Sixers game. They wouldn't miss a Sixers game. And it was during that time that I really developed a passion for watching, the Philadelphia 76ers. So back in 76, when Julius, became a Sixer, I was in the 6th grade and, teamed up with George McGinnis and Doug Collins and Joe Jelly Bean Bryant and Darryl Dawkins and Henry Bibby. That's when my passion for following this team started. So it's going back a few years.
That's super interesting.
And just so you know, Daryl, can you tell everyone what your nickname is? What your nickname in Willingboro? Everyone in Willingboro called him this.
Called me Bibby. and it started. I actually created the nickname mistakenly and regrettably because Bibby sucked as far as I'm concerned. But he happened to have a playoff game, and and I don't remember the team that they played, but this was in '79.
So we're talking Henry Bibby, not Mike Bibby.
Henry Bibby, yeah, Henry Bibby. And
there's a resemblance.
I was in it. I distinctly remember during gym class in the 9th grade, we were playing basketball, and Bibby had maybe 30, 35 points, and he was knocking the shots down. So I kept saying Bibby every time I shot, and people were like, "Man, you actually play like Bibby," and it kind of stuck. So yeah, people have been calling me Bibby ever since.
Interesting. I do find it interesting because I spent my summers in North Philadelphia and they didn't have cable, and and it's interesting that people had to come from Philly to New Jersey to watch the Sixers.
Right. Yep.
And that was a thing. Yeah, it was really a thing.
It was a thing.
Let me ask you another question. Jordan or LeBron?
Jordan all the way.
There we go. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, Jordan all the way.
I'm surprised you hesitated.
I like LeBron off the court for what he represents, but on the court,
absolutely.
man, he can't hold a stick or a candle to Mike. And I'm not a Mike fan.
I'm not a Mike fan either.
So like my brother and I, one day, when my brother first moved to Atlanta, when did you move to Atlanta? What year?
In 2009, 2010.
2009, I went down there seeing a client, and me and my brother had dinner with my aunt and my uncle. We were out, and I don't know, the conversation just turned to LeBron and Kobe. And I was like, LeBron's a better basketball player. And, my brother's like,
there's
no
way.
Dow, let me talk. Let me talk.
Go ahead.
I was saying LeBron's a better basketball player. He was about to do. He was like, "Man, you crazy? Like, Kobe's a better basketball player. LeBron sucks." I was like, "No, LeBron doesn't suck." He said LeBron sucks, and he 1,000% meant that LeBron was not a good basketball player. From that point on, since 2009, I have not engaged this man in any kind of LeBron Jordan talk. Because it's pointless. It's pointless. He will never, for anyone to say that LeBron sucks, he doesn't watch basketball.
Well, to Daryl's point, LeBron didn't have a championship at that point, right? I'm not saying he sucked.
It didn't matter. It didn't matter.
I'm not saying he sucked.
Right. That's the whole point. You could say I don't like LeBron. I don't think he's better than Kobe. But to say that LeBron sucks, LeBron James sucks. At that point, I was like, I'm done.
Is this a true story?
I can't talk to this man.
Uncle Daryl, is this a true story?
Yes, it's I'm telling it. It's a true story.
I don't remember those words. No, I don't remember those words.
But it does sound like you, right? It does sound like you.
No, it doesn't sound like me. I just know that LeBron is not a better basketball player than Kobe nor Michael, for that matter.
Okay.
Fair.
We'll leave it at that.
Is Kobe in your top 10, Daryl?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
And I'm not a Kobe fan either.
I'm not a Kobe fan either.
No,
I'm not a Jordan fan, but I think Jordan's better than LeBron.
Oh yeah. Jordan's much better than LeBron.
Here's my last question. I want to get a sense of Atlanta. It's not known for like a big sports town. There's a lot of transplants there.
Yep.
It's similar to Connecticut in a way, but Connecticut doesn't have a sports team. They don't have any professional sports teams. What's it like there? Are there like a lot of Hawks fans? What is it, college football that rules the world there? What's like the main?
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. Yeah, down here in Georgia and in the Atlanta area, college football rules. SEC rules the sports environment. Okay. You'll have way more folks that attend college football games versus professional sporting events, be it University of Georgia, Georgia Tech, Alabama, the list goes on. That it's a much bigger college environment versus a professional environment.
Yeah, I was watching. I don't know if you guys saw the Knicks Atlanta game. And I guess this is I don't want to call the pot calling the kettle black because the Sixers they were
Yeah.
overtaken by the Boston fans, but there were tons of New York fans in Atlanta for that game. I
Yeah.
don't know if you guys saw that on
Yep.
Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
So and you guys got it. That's a good team down there. Do you follow them at all? Do you kind of like root for them in a way, or?
well, now that they're playing the Knicks, yeah, I'm rooting for them. But other than that, I could care less about the
Yeah.
Atlanta
Yeah.
Hawks or the Falcons for that matter.
And Knicks fans
Yeah.
usually
Yeah.
travel pretty well in general.
Yeah.
They do.
Yeah,
They do.
stinking
They do,
Knicks
they do.
fans.
But a lot of those fans are bandwagon coming out the woodworks when they're good.
Yeah.
Well, listen, you have to take into account that, to go to a Knicks game at the Garden, it's going to cost them just to get in. It's probably going to be like $500, where you could spend probably less than $200 to take the train down and get a Sixer game. Good.
Not only that, it's probably cheaper. It might be cheaper to fly to Atlanta and go to Atlanta's game than to go to the Garden.
That very well may be the
Right?
case. That's very
Yeah.
well may be the case. I've gotten into Atlanta Hawk game for like $17.
Oh, really?
Mm.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. So it's probably cheaper just to go there, get the
Well,
airfare instead of trying to get in the Garden.
Good
I
chance
mean,
a lot
yeah.
of
Go ahead, son.
good chance a lot of Boston fans or either Philly fans will be taking trips into MSG if the Knicks come out of that series against the Atlanta Hawks. It's not looking like it'll be our Sixers down 3-1. Uncle Darryl, I want to ask you what your biggest takeaway was from that Game 4 blowout loss. That's what everybody's talking about now. That has put them in this hole. What was your biggest takeaway from that game, and what do you think went wrong? What do you think went wrong
I'll
for the
tell
Sixers?
you, my initial thought was, and I appreciate Joel Embiid, him making an effort to get back, onto the court after, recovering from his appendectomy. But why did he have to start? I think he would have been better served coming off the bench. I mean, he hasn't played in how many weeks? He came in and took probably the first 7 or 8 shots, and he went all out. And it did, I think, a disservice for what they had. Defensively, I think they're a much better team with him not being on the floor. They were exposed in the pick and roll. When you set Joel Embiid up to defend the pick and roll, they were getting wide open shots throughout the majority of the game. I mean, you had them trying to guard Pritchard on several occasions out beyond the arc. So, I appreciate what Joel Embiid his effort in trying to get back to support his team, but I think he would have been better served coming off the bench and allowing Bona to start the game from a defensive standpoint. That's my initial thought.
Darryl, I totally agree with you. I want to ask you something. I had mentioned this in the podcast maybe a couple podcasts ago. I think speaking of like disservice, I think it's a disservice for the Sixers when Embiid, and I'm not saying it's his fault, but when they play the whole will he or won't he play game,
right?
I think it kind of disrupts the team a little bit. They don't know what to expect. It's hard to like really set a lineup. Bona, went from starting to playing 4 minutes yesterday.
Right.
So I compared the two, like what Boston did with Tatum. Tatum, they knew he was out, but they had a hard stop on when he was going to come back, and I think the team was able to develop in a way that the Sixers couldn't because Embiid was constantly in and out of lineup, and I kind of saw that yesterday. And again, I'm not blaming his loss on him. I think I give him a lot of credit, and Troy can probably speak to this, like coming back from that surgery and say, you know what, I want to be out there with my team. I really respect that. But I totally agree with you. He shouldn't have started. Like, it would have been nice to just
ease him in.
Have Boston kind of just waiting for him to come in the game. Just kind of start the game out like they've been started the last 2 games. and get Maxey going, and then have him come in, make Joe Mazzulla, make a move once they see Embiid get off the bench.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I think that start and stop, that will he or won't he, does hurt the team a little bit.
The more that I thought about it, the more I thought that after losing game 3, maybe the Sixers thought the series was already going sideways to the point where they'd rather get Joel Embiid in that starting 5, get them some chemistry going in this series to the point where they can maybe start developing a rhythm if it continues. I would say the only saving grace from this game is that now you're entering a second game with Joel Embiid in with the starting 5, so they should at least look a little bit better. But I do agree that it was a little weird for him to start that game. I don't think that I think you owe some credit to what the Sixers did in the last 2 games as far as winning game 2, making game 3 competitive. All of that, that style that they play kind of went out the window when you start Embiid and you kind of throw him into the mix. But I do wonder if it's okay, we're down 2-1, Boston's in control of the series. Let's get Embiid back in. If he's ready to go, let's just roll the dice and try to get him as many reps as we can, because we know that's our best chance to go anywhere anyway. I wonder if that was the mindset.
Yes. Well,
yeah, so I don't think if the Sixers had won game 3, I don't think Embiid would have played game 4. To your point, Kobe, you're right. They probably felt like the series was slipping away, and they needed to make a drastic move. And Embiid probably thought the same way. It's probably up to Embiid to say, do you want to play or do you want to not play? And he's like, yeah, let's play. We're down. They need me. Let me get out there. There, I will push back on the fact that I don't think that they played worse defensively. That was the same exact game they played in game 1 when Drummond was out there on the floor and Bonin was out there on the floor. The Sixers overall are a bad defensive team. The reason why Pritchard was going off and all these guys hitting threes is because they consistently, and we've talked about this ad nauseum all year long, they overhelp. And then once that ball swings, another player starts to scramble, the ball swings again, and then another player starts to scramble. Kobe asked me a very good question a couple of weeks ago. We were watching the game. This was before the playoffs, and I'm complaining about the rebounding and the defense, and he was like, "Dad, do you think that we're such a bad rebounding team because of how we play defense?" And the question stopped me in my tracks, and I was like, "Yes, that's exactly why we're a bad defensive team, because bad rebounding team, because we're constantly scrambling on defense, and there's nobody in position to grab a rebound." This has been happening all year long. And to me, that falls at the feet of Nick Nurse. You have to know, I know you have some type of defensive philosophy that you had in Toronto, but you don't have those Toronto players, so you have to do something different. He's never made that adjustment. But back to Embiid, I thought he played good. I kind of do agree, maybe you should have brought him off the bench. But even if you brought him off the bench, I don't think they were going to win that game, which is the reason why, Chuck, I was so upset after game 3, because that was a golden opportunity for the Sixers to win and stay in the series. After you lose game 3, Boston's a better team. So I just knew they were going to shoot better. They were going to have another game like the first game where they're just going to shoot lights out. And even if this series goes 7, they're due another game where they're going to shoot lights out. The Sixers don't have a chance. I think before the series started, I said they'd be lucky to get one game, and it looks like that's the case.
My thing is, Philadelphia plays reactionary basketball. They try to respond to what Boston is doing from an offensive standpoint, and they're trying to, they allow Boston's defense to dictate what they're doing offensively. So they're not aggressive. When you watch, Tyrese Maxey, try to get into the lane, and instead of him just playing his game, he's worried about, oh, somebody might block my shot once I get into the paint, and he's double pumping. He's trying to pivot and trying to get his shot off and just releasing the ball versus, dancing in the middle of the paint with his pivot foot trying to get a shot off. And it disrupts the flow of the offense.
Do you think
So
do you think
there's
that
no
has
and just to add on to that, when you add Joel Embiid, and again, I appreciate him trying to get back onto the court to support his teammates, but there you have to ease into that. There's no continuity. He jumped in as if he was the main attraction, which he is,
Yeah.
but he played like that instead of trying to get into the flow of the game with
Yeah.
everybody else.
I
No,
see,
And
no
I
practice.
disagree with that. I
It's a
don't
good
and
think I don't think it was him necessarily. Like
well,
if
he's a big part of it.
right, but
Uh,
like even early on, Daryl, like he made some passes where VJ had open threes and he missed it. He just
yeah,
missed it. He made
right.
passes. It wasn't like he every time he got the ball, he was looking to score. And let's not forget that he did pick up 2 quick fouls on Kada. And as soon as
Yeah,
Vucevic came in, he picked up a good foul, right? So I understand that what Nick Nurse was trying to do. I don't necessarily agree with it, like to force feed him, but like he's Joel Embiid. Like if he gets the ball, if he has a matchup, I would much rather see him shoot than damn near anybody else. And I understand he's out for 2 weeks, but still, like he's out there on the floor. You have to make
yeah,
Boston think about something different, right? Like to Chuck's point, you wanted Joe Mazzulla to kind of like, all right, when is Embiid coming in? Like what do we have
hmm
to think about when it comes to him? Well, if he comes out and he drops 2 of his first 3 shots or his first 4 shots, now Mazzulla has something to think about. Now he's going
hmm
to have to adjust his defense. It just didn't happen that way.
yeah,
I think. I mean, I guess there's no right or wrong answer because
Yeah,
not seen it
it's
work. But I think it just messed up the flow. I agree with Daryl. I think without practice, just throwing him in there, kind of everyone looked disjointed. Maxie had
yep,
3 shots in the first half.
do you
yeah.
blame that on B? Do you blame that on Embiid though?
I blame more. Well,
Because
Maxie. I blame it on Maxie first.
yeah, that's on Maxi. And
Um,
listen, and then
but
early in the
even
series, Maxi there was well he had like maybe 5 shots in the first half. I think that was in game.
yeah,
I forgot which game, right? Like, listen, I think, and Daryl was talking about Maxi getting into the lane and not taking that shot. Like, listen, the guy's hurt. Like, his hands are hurt. And Kobe made a great point, dude. In the middle of the second quarter, he was like, Maxi looks tired, like not just tired, but gassed. And
Mm.
that goes back to what we've all been talking about all season long is that he's playing too many minutes. Like he's playing 42 minutes a game, every game. By the time the playoffs come, he's gonna be shot. And I
Yeah.
think that's what we're looking at right now. Like he doesn't have it.
Mm.
So
I mean, I guess I don't think nothing's going to change. The next game,
no,
Embiid's going to start. Um,
yeah.
I really just wish they would use him more of as a decoy, and it's not going to happen. I just don't think, like Daryl said, I don't think they should like go to him so early. And it just, I
Yeah.
don't know. The offense looked so disjointed
Yep.
with him as a primary option. Like VJ was out of sync.
But
I don't
Chuck,
know, PG was
listen,
Yeah.
PG, but I
VJ
don't
was
know. It
out of
just seemed
sync.
right.
VJ was out of sync when Embiid wasn't playing.
No game, yeah,
Like the offense
game,
was
game
disjointed
3.
when Embiid wasn't playing.
I'm not blaming. I'm not. First of all, I don't. I hope
I
it doesn't
know, I
sound like
know
I'm
what you're
blaming
saying.
Embiid.
I know what you're saying, but like
And
I
and
know a lot of people. I know a lot of people want to say, all right, well, Embiid played, and and I'm not trying to I'm not trying to cover for Embiid, but with Embiid and without Embiid, the Sixers have played the same way all year. Yesterday
You think
should not
so?
have been they have, man.
You think
We've
that
been
game was like
complaining.
similar to?
We have been complaining all year about how the Sixers play, whether Embiid was in the lineup or whether he was out of the lineup. That they didn't look connected. They looked disjointed. We didn't know what kind of offense they were running. A lot of times they would just boggle down to a pick and roll between Maxey and Embiid. That was their offense, right?
The,
And
the,
like you're
the,
not going to
the,
win. You're not going to win that way.
the
You're
challenge
just
that
not.
the challenge that the Sixers have is the only time or the majority of the time that they're successful is when they're knocking down shots. And unfortunately for them, they don't have players that knock down shots consistently. They don't have a JJ Redick or Ben Dinelli on
Bellinelli.
their team.
Yeah.
Yeah, that guys that can run off the screen and just raise up and knock down a three.
Well, they
And
have Max, and then they traded one to Oklahoma City, so there was that.
yeah,
And
and
yeah, I guess if they do have the guys, they don't put them in positions to do that
right.
consistently. Like you don't see Maxey coming off screens.
And see, Maxey, but he has the ball in his hands often, so he doesn't have that option to do that.
Right.
So they need a true point guard that will allow Maxey to run around and run off screens, a la Reggie Miller.
I don't think that you don't need a true point guard for that. You could just run an offense where they have Maxey come off an Iverson cut, right? Like that's simple. VJ, take the ball. Paul George, take the ball. Right? We're gonna run this play for Maxey coming off these screens, coming off this cut. They never do it.
Paul George could do that. I don't think VJ's handle is
doubt. But we're just talking about like setting up an offense. Like you bring the ball up the court and you just hand the ball off to whoever can initiate the offense. All he has to do is wait for the play to develop and pass the ball to Maxey. He doesn't have to have a Kyrie Irving handle.
No,
that's not needed.
No, but you think about who Iverson had. He had Eric Snow, who was, the guy who was able to distribute the ball and do that.
Again, all he was doing was just waiting for Iverson to get open and passing. He wasn't Magic Johnson. That's my point. He's not Magic Johnson. All you have to do is have somebody who is willing to say, I'm going to wait for this play to develop. I know what's going to happen. I'm going to give the ball up here.
To that point, I'm hoping it's not going to happen, but the one thing you have to give Nick Nurse credit for is, or maybe he's just here while it's happening, Embiid's passing has gotten a lot better since Nick Nurse has become the head coach. I would love to see Embiid, if he's capable of doing it, because he didn't do it in any of this last game, initiate the offense, bring the ball up, make Kata kind of work, and then maybe he could be the one passing to Maxey off that Iverson cut. He did that a lot during the season when he did play. I know it's a lot to ask, but he doesn't have to do it on every play, but I would like to see it occasionally, just having him just come up and initiate the offense. And one more thing, like Noah's trying to get out of this. I know he didn't want to talk about the Sixers because every time they lose, he's like pouts and I can't. He does, he's just miserable to be in the house with. He doesn't say anything.
Not the only one.
He snaps at me.
Why do you have to stop?
Kicks the cat. What's your thoughts on this, Noah?
I just think it's like wild.
Get closer to the mic.
I just think it's wild. Like the first and only thing you guys have been talking about was like Joel Embiid, like absolutely complaining for that game.
And we're not. No one's blaming him. No one's blaming him.
He started the game off with 8 straight points. Scored the first 8 points for the team. They took him off the court, and that was the last time we were in the game. Like they literally just ran away with the game after that.
Oh, we're sorry. We're sorry we talked about Embiid in a bad way.
You guys didn't say anything about Maxey. Like nothing about Paul George, nothing about VJ. Like these guys had Embiid, like while the game went on, like he started settling for a lot of jumpers, but like it wasn't like he was like just getting the ball and like just shooting it. Like he was getting the ball at the end of the shot clock, having to throw something up at the end.
And to that point, he did miss a lot of shots that he usually makes.
Stagnant at the top of, like around the 3-point line. Everyone just sitting around. Like someone gets the ball, they're trying to like get open, like just ISO. And like you guys are blaming Joel Embiid for that? Like
we're not blaming him. We're not blaming. We're not blaming him. Relax.
That's all you guys. About.
We're not blaming him.
We're
not. Daryl gave him credit for coming back.
But that's what it sounds like. It sounds like the reason why the Sixers lost was because Embiid started.
If Joel Embiid came off the bench, like we wouldn't have lost by 30. Like maybe.
Right, exactly. The reason why we lost was because Embiid started and they force-fed him. That's the reason why the Sixers lost.
I'm
that's
not
not
saying
the
that.
No,
okay.
no.
But that's what it sounds like. No. I'm not
saying.
saying that's what you guys said, but that's what it sounds like. All of us. That's what we're talking about. Those are the talking points. So if someone was listening to this, they would be like, "Oh man, they're just blaming Embiid."
He played like 5 minutes in the first quarter.
And I think that was Kobe's point also.
They took him out, and then was that too like? Did they not have enough time to get themselves like established into the game like the rest of our superstar players that we have that we pay hundreds of millions of dollars to? Like we're blaming Embiid for that. Like I don't know. I vote.
All right, we do. We have to get to Troy's. First of all, we weren't talking. I think if anyone heard from the beginning to the end that we were giving Embiid credit for coming back, but the offense looked even more disjointed as him as a primary option, especially when he's just come off injury.
Like, on Twitter, like I keep seeing everyone saying like they play so much slower with Embiid, like their pace was literally faster with
the pace was faster with Embiid, and like people on ESPN were like, they play so much slower with Embiid, and it just wasn't true.
Yeah, I'm guaranteed.
I didn't know that.
A lot of those people aren't watching the game.
They don't watch the game. They don't watch.
They're not watching the game.
Do people think
Daryl,
replacing Andre Drummond with Joel Embiid is gonna make like the game like so much slower?
Daryl, just to give you a warning, we can't say anything bad about Embiid or Jalen Hurts. Or my son will lose it. So just to warn you, any slander.
Those are the ground rules.
Yeah. I just need Embiid to stay on his feet and stop falling all over the floor.
He did miss a lot of. I think next game he missed a lot of shots he usually makes. Like
and you can see he was frustrated because after a couple of those shots, they panned to him, and you could see him flailing his arms after the ball, rimmed out of the out of the goal, out of the cylinder. So that kind of stuff, frustrates me because he wears his emotions on his sleeve, and he's just got to stay focused. You're not going to hit every shot, so don't show your frustration because that I don't know, your body language, man, it says a lot.
Yeah, Daryl, that's a great point because, and we talked about this too. I think the team gets his personality from the best players. So if he's frustrated, the whole team's going to look frustrated.
Yeah.
Zach, I know we got to move on. I do want to just, before we move on though, can we how do you guys see tomorrow's game?
I think tomorrow's game, I think the Sixers are going to play a lot better. I expect them to play a lot better, similar to Game 2 and Game 3. But I still expect them to lose.
I've got no hope. They'll probably get blown out. They may be competitive the first and second quarter, but third and fourth, the game will be over by midway through the third quarter.
Sure. Do you see this? Do you think the same thing? Do you think will the game be decided?
No,
I think with 5 minutes to go.
I think they'll keep it close enough. I do.
Yeah.
I think they're going to play better. They have they played a lot better after Game 1. I expect them to play a lot better after this game. And Game 1 and Game 4 were carbon copies of each other.
Yeah, I'm leaning more what Troy says.
I don't know if Boston is still knocking down shots. The only game that Sixers won was a game that Boston wasn't knocking down their threes.
And I'll say this, that game was the best defensive game that the Sixers had played all year. And they made a lot of mistakes in Game 2.
game.
I said it in the pod.
that
I
they
said it in the
won.
pod. That was one of the best defensive games that they had played all year. They played
So
aggressively,
what?
and they played in listen, Boston missed some shots, but you got to give the Sixers some credit. You got to give them some credit because that game that they played defensively in Game 2, they did not play. They played the complete opposite Game 1 and Game 4. The complete opposite games. But that's the Sixer game. That's the Sixer team we've been seeing all year. They can't string together 2 good offensive games or 2 good defensive games. Or if they have a good offensive game, they can't. They're not playing good defense, and vice versa.
Yeah,
I thought that was the best game they played. I expect them to play better defensively. To play more connected to each other. But again, Boston's a better team. They'll hit tougher shots than the Sixers will hit. Boston will probably win, but I do expect it to be a closer game.
I just hate Boston, man. I hate Boston. I saw a guy today with the actually this weekend with a Boston Celtics hat on and a Boston's, and I had to walk up to him and say, "Hey, man, I hope y'all lose tonight." And he started laughing. He said, "Oh yeah, I know we need to win." And I think he misunderstood what I was saying. I said, "No, I want y'all to lose." He said, "Oh." He said, "You from Philly?" I was like, "Yeah, man." I said, "We haven't beaten you guys in a playoff series since the early 80s.
Yeah.
I've never seen it.
Freaking
No one's
ridiculous.
never seen it.
Daryl, Bird or LeBron, Daryl?
Oh, Larry Bird.
Yeah.
And I hate Boston. But I'm going to tell you, man, Larry, I've come to appreciate what Larry Bird
I have to. I hated him, but I do.
brings.
Yes, he's
Too
great.
much.
Yeah.
Great. He's great. But see, this is what I'm talking about. This is like ask him another player. Say another player.
Man,
Say another player.
Kelly Oubre or LeBron?
See, that's a tough call for him. That's gonna be a tough call. Like, and he might give you an answer in 2 hours because you gotta think about it.
LeBron's a good player. I mean, I ain't gonna take nothing away.
This podcast is going sideways. I think it's definitely time to transition away from the Sixers.
Hold up. I want Kobe. I want
to
to hear you and Noah's. What do you guys think going to happen with the series?
I mean, I picked the Sixers to win in 6 games. I picked the Sixers to win in 6 games. Obviously, that is not going to happen. They're going to have to win in 7. And I think that this is Boston's best chance to knock us out and blow us out. They should win Game 5, I think, pretty handily. But I agree with my dad. I think the Sixers are going to play better. I think they're going to use a lot of what they learned in Embiid's first game back to their advantage. They're going to come out with some adjustments, and they're going to look better offensively. And their backs are going to be against the wall, so they have no – like Tyrese Maxey, I know he's not 100%, not, himself right now, but you lose, you go home. So I expect to see a different energy out of the team with their backs against the wall. We haven't seen that up to this point, so I'm kind of looking forward to what that looks like from some of the younger guys, and I think they will look better. But this is Boston's best opportunity to knock us out. I think that if they let us stick around and win this game, then there's going to be some doubt that definitely creeps in, and we'll have a series on our hands with the series coming back to Philly. So I think the Sixers will play better, but Boston should handle business at home.
Yeah. No, what about you? I'm sorry we talked about Embiid. Forgive us. Speak. We do a podcast.
Like, why do you? It's over. Like, I don't know. It's over.
He said Sixers in 7. I love the energy, Noah. I love the energy. All right. Well, speaking of staying on their feet, hopefully Jalen Hurts does a lot of that in this upcoming football season, and he got some reinforcements. He's got some help through the draft recently. Mekhi Lemon drafted at number 20 overall for the Eagles, along with a lot of other draft picks. Guys, how do we feel about the Eagles draft? Noah, I kind of want to kick it to you first because I know you're excited to talk about this. How surprised were you that Mekhi Lemon fell? How do you think he'll be integrated into the offense? And what do you feel about the Eagles draft overall?
I thought it was surprising that he fell that far because I think he's probably like the best receiver in the class. If he was probably like 2 inches taller, like I think it wouldn't have been a question. He's like 5'11" or so, but he plays really well after the catch, so he plays a little bigger than he is. He's very physical, like at the catch point. I don't really watch a lot of college football, but I watched one of his games this year. I think it was against Illinois, and he was making like I advise you guys to watch it. He was making like catches over the middle, like while he's getting hit like in the air, like coming down strong with it. He's really good after the catch, like I said. He's a good route runner. He has good releases, so like he doesn't have to be a slot only guy. And I didn't have any like thought in my mind that we'd be able to get Makai Lemon like before the draft. I thought we were just gonna like get like a lineman or something, maybe an edge. But yeah, I think the draft overall is pretty good. We got Eli Stowers in the second round. He's a good tight end. He's arguably like the best tight end prospect. Sadiq was a good one too. Which I think it was crazy that the Jets drafted Sadiq before Makai Lemon, but yeah, I think.
I have a couple questions because I don't know anything about college football. Well, first of all, are those my AirPods? I can't find them. Okay. How many receivers do you think the Eagles are going to keep?
Probably all of them.
They have a lot. They have I just
do.
saw the list. They have a lot of receivers.
Yeah, I think I saw a list too. They had 7 or 8 receivers.
Yeah, it was a ton.
They're probably going to. I would say they keep the top 6, and the other 2 would be on a practice squad. But I think they're going to keep them because they don't know what they have.
Well, one of the
look like.
One of the 6 was AJ Brown, and he's going to be gone.
Oh yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm not even counting him.
Oh, okay.
We know he's going to be gone.
What about that guy who got hurt last year, Johnny Wilson?
Yeah.
The big dude.
He can't catch.
Okay. I mean, he's big. I thought
his hands are like bonus. His hands are like bonus. He can't.
Yeah, he can't catch that. It's rough.
Chuck, let me ask you. I mean, we talked about this last pod. Were you surprised that they went receiver instead of offensive line? Because I know that's what you were looking at.
Not really. Again, I don't watch college football that way. I knew their needs. I knew they were going to shift their resources to defense, so they need to get younger and cheaper on offense. So I knew they were picking offensive players, and their first 4 or 5 picks were all offensive players. Either receiver, tight end, offensive lineman, quarterback, which Noah was very upset about when they took the quarterback. He was like, "What is Howie doing? He's hurting Jalen's feelings." But no, I just knew they were going to. I'm at a point where I just trust Howie at this point. So I'm assuming he knows what he's doing. If he thought this was the guy over an offensive lineman, I think we were talking. You had mentioned, Troy, that you would rather have like a top 5 receiver. Was it receiver than like a top
any other
10
position, right?
Offensive, yeah. So maybe they went in that direction.
Maybe he's listening to the podcast.
Maybe he's listening to the podcast. Shout out to Howie.
Yeah. What's up, Howie?
What's
up, Howie? It's my man.
So that does make sense. How about you guys? Did you think he was going to take a receiver?
No, I was shocked. Colby was shocked and excited. I was shocked and I was like, who is this guy? Truly, like
I asked Noah right before the pick, and he was like, I don't know who they're going to pick. And then when he picked him, he was like, I knew they were going to pick him. I knew it.
I didn't think he was available. Like, he wasn't even on my mind when they were picking. And then
I never heard of brother.
I mean, I played the college football video game a couple of times, and online he got like 300 yards on me. And I was like, who's this guy? And that's how I got introduced to Makai Lemon.
What do you guys think of like Dallas Goedert is basically going to be teaching this guy to take his job. Like that's so weird in sports that you do that. Like
I don't, but you know what? I think it's less weird in football because most football players know they have a shelf life, right?
Yeah.
So it's a lot easier for them to say, all right, the end of my career here or in general is almost over. I love what this organization has done for me. I'll help them out here. Like, okay, fine, this is going to be my last year. Everyone knows this is my last year here. Let me help him out, right? Whether he retires or goes to another team, I think there's a lot of respect towards the organization from the players. Like Jason Kelce, like if you go down the line, Jason Kelce, Lane Johnson, any defensive player, Saquon Barkley, if they have a running back, I would assume that Saquon Barkley would be like, all right, well, if my time here is coming to an end, let me help this guy. I think the Eagles have a bunch of professionals where it probably wouldn't matter to them as much as maybe some other players. AJ Brown would probably kill him, but
Yeah.
I think a lot of Eagle players are professional in that manner.
And I think most NFL players, to Troy's point, kind of expect that. When you look back at what Troy Vincent and Bobby Taylor, when they drafted Lito Shepherd and Sheldon Brown.
Oh, good point. That's a real good point.
They kind of knew, okay, yeah, well, let me see what I can do to help these young guys out. To help, matriculate them into the league.
Yeah.
So,
what do you think this skill players offensively? What do you think the starting lineup's going to be? Not the offensive line. If you want to talk about offensive line, you can. But Dale, what do you think it's going to look like?
well, I think Makai Lemon.
He's going to be in a slot on the corner,
I think he's going to be a wideout.
Okay.
Yeah, I think they drafted him to replace AJ Brown, and Devontae Smith will be the other wideout, and that's a good question. Probably one of the guys that they picked up in free agency.
And Wicks.
Maybe Wicks.
Yeah.
What, in the slot, you mean?
Be in the slot.
Nah,
Yeah.
I don't know. Was Wicks a slot? Hey, no. Was Wicks a slot receiver for Green Bay, or he was outside?
Yeah, that I don't know.
I mean, Lemon would probably be the slot.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. They probably have Wicks since he's a veteran. They probably have him on the outside to start.
Okay. Yeah.
And
Just to
Makai
get
played a
kinda
lot
like
of slot
ease.
in college.
Just to kind of ease Makai into it. So
Oh, okay.
And you think Dallas is to be starting tight end?
yeah, I think he'll be the starting tight end. Yeah. Hey, Noah, no more Calcaterra, buddy. Congratulations.
Well, he's on the squad.
He's on the squad, but listen, if Calcaterra plays over the guy we just drafted, there's a problem. There's a huge problem. That means we drafted the wrong guy.
What's he on the team for then? Well, who knows? I don't know. They got a lot of tight ends and a lot of receivers.
He's not going to be on the team.
Probably not.
Who?
Calcaterra.
How do you know?
Because I saw that he's probably not going to make the roster.
Wait, where's Drew? Are we doing that pop culture? No.
No, I don't think Drew had anything for
No,
pop
no.
culture.
Drew
We have
falls
nothing.
asleep.
We have nothing for the fitness, right? Fitness corner. Or we have nothing.
Yeah, I didn't have anything for the.
What did he have? What did he send you? I know he sent you a link. What? I sent him something. What are your guys' thoughts on that 7th round pick? They're comparing to
Oh, Jordan.
Garrett.
They're comparing to Jordan.
Yeah.
Because
And-
the international player pathway.
Yeah. Any like thoughts? You never played football before?
That's pretty
No, you have
exciting.
any
What
thoughts on it?
position? What position is he?
I think it's a DN.
Yeah, he's a DN.
Mm.
I don't know anything about him, but I was listening to an expert talk about last year's draft and how NIL has changed the draft to the point where round 6 and 7 are watered down. And he said this year is pretty much from rounds 4 to 7 that have been watered down, and it's going to continue that way
Oh,
for the
because
next
they're
few
staying in
years
school.
because they're staying in school.
Oh,
Because they're staying
okay.
in school. So I don't know if I don't know. I think it's just the Eagles taking a flyer and be like, let's this guy's
I
he's
gotta
off
get.
the charts athletic. Let's see if we can turn him into Jordan Mailata or something like that.
Mm.
So
What is he, like 6'9"?
Oh, he's a specimen. He's a physical
yeah,
specimen.
he's chiseled.
Mm.
So
I gotta get Mia NIL deal, dude. Get me out of this hellhole.
yeah.
She needs to get the bag.
Well, you can't be rooting for her to strike out at the end of her game,
Dude,
Chuck.
It was cold out there. I was getting eaten by mosquitoes. The game needed to end.
Speaking of games that need to end, these Phillies games, I don't know how you guys are putting up with the Phillies right now. Games are ending pretty quick with the way they're Yankees
Well,
on the other hand, playing like the best team in the American League.
So, Daryl, how did you let this happen? Your nephew become a Yankee fan.
wait.
That's his father's fault.
Listen, we need to. You never ask Darryl about when he became an Eagle fan and like how his Eagle fandom started. You asked about the Sixers, but not the Eagles.
Okay, yeah. How'd that start, though?
Yeah, it started probably in the late 80s, mid to late 80s.
Mid to late 80s.
Yeah.
So, who were you a fan of at the time? I was a
I
Eagle
wasn't
fan out of the womb.
I wasn't really following football like that before then.
Oh
I'm
my
not gonna
God.
hear this.
Shut his mic off. Shut his mic off right now.
That's a family joke? What's going on?
Yeah. He's a joke right now. Listen,
No.
when I was a little guy and started paying attention to football, my dad was a Philadelphia Eagles fan, but my brother was a Dallas Cowboys fan. He was a Dallas Cowboys fan. He had me watching Tony Dorsett. That's all he talked about. Tony Dorsett. He was a Dallas Cowboys fan.
That's all I got.
Yeah, I'll admit I was under the influence. I was under the influence. I didn't know any better. I came to my senses. That's all that needs to be said about that.
So I guess you were around the time you were rooting for the Boston Red Sox during the World Series against the Cardinals. You were under the same sort of influence at that point as well.
The Cardinals.
Yeah, I don't know if you remember that. You're in our house actually, rooting for the Red Sox, the year they upset the Yankees coming back from a 3-0 deficit.
Oh,
you were rooting for the Red Sox that year in the playoffs.
Lori was ready to slice his throat.
I remember I had a jar of mayonnaise. Uncle Darryl hates mayonnaise. I had a jar of mayonnaise, and I was shoving it in his face.
I never liked George Steinbrenner and him trying to buy a championship every year.
Yeah, they're still trying to
do it.
But Daryl, to your credit, there was a lot of TD fans. Like Tony Dorsett was like, he was the
to your credit,
and he played at Pittsburgh.
Please. There's no to your credit. The boy was born into an Eagle household and decided to be a Cowboy fan on his own. He gets no credit for changing.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
Well, glad you're on the right side now, Uncle Darryl.
Yeah.
What made you change?
But
what did your dad give you like a whooping or something? What made you change to it?
What made me change?
Yeah.
I think when Randall.
Oh, Randall. Okay.
Yeah, Randall
Yeah.
came to play. So that was in like the late,
That was
mid,
mid-80s.
mid,
Early
yeah,
80s.
early
Mid
80s.
80s.
Yeah.
But getting back to the
Randall did fill out
Phillies,
today.
getting
Do
back
we
to the
have to?
Phillies. Yeah, listen, you said you wanted to wait to fire Rob Thompson until Memorial Day. Do you still feel that way?
Believe it or not, I think Rob Thompson is good for this city. For
I
a fan base that's are maniacs, I think it's good to have a guy who's a little bit more low key.
Does he coach the
I think
fan
they should.
base? Is he coaching the fan
What's that?
base? Does he coach the fan base?
No, but Troy,
Or who's he
listen.
coaching? He's coaching the players, right? So I don't
This is
care.
you're being unfair because
I
you
don't
wanted to get rid of
care. I
him
don't care what the
after
fan
he
base.
won 2 divisions.
I'm part of the fan base. I don't want him to coach us. I don't want him to placate to us. He needs
Well,
to get this team going.
let me answer your question.
Okay.
I don't want him gone yet.
Okay.
I think they should start with the hitting coach.
Mhm.
Replace him.
Yep.
He's a Yankee. He's his heart is with the Yankees, so we must get rid of him.
But he's also boys with Harper, Schwarber, Bohm. He's
I
one
heard
of the
that.
fellas.
I did hear that too. I did hear
He's
that
one of
that
the
they're
fellas.
close. to him.
So
But that's part of the problem. They're not hitting. And
correct.
Bone, I mean, they have a flawed offense. They're
Correct.
you
And he's
got
the only the Troy. If you think about it, like the Phillies have not developed like a hitter from the minor leagues up. I mean,
Right.
Crawford maybe getting there, but they have with pitching. Like the pitching coach is like they should give that guy a raise. Now
Right.
he's not doing that great this year, but you've seen Phillies prospects come up and pitch well. You haven't seen that on the hitting side. I think they should at least try that first before they get rid of Topper. Again, let's give it a month. We're like in May. That's a Memorial Day, right?
But
So,
so you're
if we
you're
don't
not
see improvement-
expecting. But like if you give it a month, then you're really what you're saying is that this team has no shot to get to the playoffs anyway.
Probably not, but I just think the city of Philadelphia deserves a team that's respectable. I think if they can get that,
I
that's
see. I
that's
disagree.
something. They're not
I
winning. They're not
disagree.
winning the division.
I disagree. Or maybe the city does deserve a team, but the organization does not deserve a winning team because of how they have conducted the last 4 or 5 years.
Troy,
We've gone.
no. I'll give you
Chuck?
this year.
yeah,
Chuck.
they made the playoffs. And
I get it,
been
Dow.
a contender. for the
But
first-
when they went to the World Series, each and
You
every
act
year.
like you act like that's easy. You act
Again.
like that's like they
Again.
they just made the playoffs. Like that's everybody should.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen. with every team. You said it so nonchalantly.
Again, when they made the World Series, every year after that, they were supposed to be a playoff contender, right? A championship
were.
contender.
And they were.
And they were until the playoffs started. And every year, they took a step back. Every single year. Every single year, they
So
took
who-
a step back.
It's more.
So
it's more
after-
than less
and
than
listen,
that.
we-
It's-
So
like, Chuck and
you're
I have had
blaming
this-
out. You're
No.
blaming Thompson, the manager.
No. Chuck and I have had this conversation before. After they lost the World Series, to me, there should have been some upgrades. It should have been some upgrades with Bohm, Stott, and Marsh. And it didn't happen. They wanted to run it back. Next year, we lose to the Diamondbacks we lost to? We lost to the Diamondbacks.
After they went to the World Series.
After the World Series, we lose to the Diamondbacks. And then they ran it back again. And that's when I was out. I was like, now you need to get rid of Castellanos. You got to get rid of half this lineup. They ran it back again.
That's not fair.
Lose to the
'cause
Mets.
The next year they lost
Chuck-
to the Mets, but only people that hit were Bryson Castellanos. Like, what you want to get rid of?
Yeah,
him. They
Castellanos.
couldn't get rid of him. If he's
I
only
get it.
You're saying let's get
Chuck-
rid of him the next year.
But because
That's
that's
like
who you
it's
could
more
because that's
nuanced
who
than
you
just-
could have got. That's who you could have got rid of to upgrade the lineup. I just want to upgrade the lineup, but you keep bringing it back to the point now. You keep running it back to the point now they're not even competitive. Like these changes,
it's hard for me to.
the changes that the Phillies are about to make, they should have been made 2 or 3 years ago. And I've been saying that the whole time. You gotta upgrade. You gotta consistently upgrade. Every team that's been winning World Series consistently upgrades their squad. They don't sit. They don't sit tight. They don't sit tight and be like, oh, let's just run it back.
Let's
just run it back.
Houston had a dynasty, and then Dodgers have a dynasty right now.
And again,
and the Phillies,
they're constantly upgrading their team. The Dodgers just blew everybody out the water, right? And what they do in the offseason, they upgraded their squad.
Again, it's not.
Yeah.
It's more detailed than that. Like they're going to have a strike. I'm sorry, they're going to have a lockout because of the Dodgers.
Okay, that's
like
Chuck.
It's going to.
So you know what? I want the league to have a strike because of the Phillies. That's all I'm saying. I want this league to have a strike because of the Phillies. Listen, I don't care, Chuck. I'm not saying you have to pay top dollar for the top free agents. Just
that's what they're doing. That's what the Dodgers are doing.
But what they're doing is they're upgrading their team. They have the wherewithal and they have the finances to go after the free agents, the top free agents. I just want the Phillies to upgrade the players that have not been producing. That's all.
Yeah, it's hard for me to argue right now when they're the worst team in baseball. When you were saying let's fire him after he won 2 divisions in a row, it seemed insane. I could push back a little bit more. This time right now, I can't push back. I don't think they should fire him yet. I think they should start with the hitting coach.
I'm shocked that I've been the only one to see what was coming down the pike.
And Kobe, you are still sitting there flexing your muscles and not.
I mean, listen, it's also
anything.
still early. Like, do you guys think that Rob Thompson is going to get fired? And if so, who would you?
He probably will.
Who would you like?
The team, you can't have the worst record in baseball and with this payroll and this talent. They have better talent.
The talent isn't stepping up. I mean, Bryce Harper hasn't been the same for the past since they went to the World Series, and it seems like he's on the decline. And then, defensively, they're pitching. Their bullpen has been horrible.
Yeah, it's been rough all the way around. The pitching has been okay. The hitting has been.
Last year, the starting pitching was great. They got off to a fantastic start, but their bullpen always let them down. But now, even their starting pitching hasn't been up to par.
And listen, if that's the case, and we have good starting pitchers, we have a great pitching coach, as you said, Chuck. If everything's falling apart, it has to be at the feet of the manager. They're no longer listening to him. His voice is null and void at this point in that locker room. So you got to change the voice. You have to get rid of him.
No, I can't push back because they have the worst record in baseball. But you were saying this when they had 4 consecutive playoff appearances and 2 division titles in a row. You're like, let's fire the manager.
You know why? Because they kept getting worse in the playoffs.
But that's not his fault. He doesn't pick the players.
It is his fault. Well, listen, don't get me wrong. Dom Dombrowski has to go too. He has to go too.
Fine, but he's only going to manage the players he has.
But he's not doing a great job of managing. That's the whole thing.
Once again, when is Zach Wheeler supposed to come back?
He pitched on Saturday.
Oh,
he won. He won it.
They didn't win the game, but he.
Okay, right. But he was starting pitcher when they won.
Noah's eerily quiet. We argue about the Phillies every day, Noah. This is your moment.
You guys have been talking.
I can't hear you. Speak up.
You guys have been going back and forth. I'm just letting you guys go.
Go ahead. I want to hear your opinion. Move your hood. I can't hear your mic.
There's 2 people on the Phillies roster that pitchers have to worry about. So I don't they're not even getting like Bryson. I'm surprised Bryson Schwarber have these good numbers that they have when they're the only people the pitcher has to worry about. They just pitch around him.
Yeah.
I'm surprised they even put the ball in play at this point. We have like Alec Boehm is the worst hitter in baseball.
Yep.
Dombrowski, he overestimated the talent we had on this team. Like I don't know. We have.
Sounds like no
But
other
the
reason.
team is talented. Like
if Trey and
the pitching should be able to keep
if
some.
Trey Schwarber and Bryce Harper don't like have like good games, if we're gonna lose. Bryce Harper literally like won us the game the other day. Like he had like 3 like RBI hits.
Yeah, I think he had 4 RBIs.
What do you guys think? What's the probability that this is just a bad stretch for them right now? 27 games into the year.
They got like 9 wins. It's over, dude. I'm calling.
No, but you're still like not even 30 games into the season.
Also, we've only played like the same like 2 teams on this whole year.
So like I remember the Yankees starting.
We're a good team. We're supposed to be a team that's beating these teams. Like we've only played the Braves and the Cubs. Like we played the Braves and then we played the Cubs and then we played the Braves again. Those are 2 of the best teams in the league, but like we should be. We lost a couple of close games, got blown out in a couple of them, but we should be competing with them. We'll see. Maybe they just had our number. We'll see what happens after this, but I don't know. It's not looking too good. We have a called-up rookie as our cleanup hitter now because who would have thought Alec Boehm wasn't the answer to our cleanup hitter problem? Who would have guessed that was their problem?
I can't fight Troy anymore. Like
I guess I'm the only one looking.
They're the worst record in baseball. Give us a Yankee update.
Oh, you mean the best team in the American League? 18-10. Ben Rice is looking like one of the best players in all of baseball.
Look at
Don't miss Juan Soto at all. No, I really don't value the first half of an MLB season. After seeing the Yankees start off historically like 3 years ago and then finishing as one of the worst teams in baseball, I don't value what goes on in the first half of the season. Everybody's talking about, oh, it's going to be Yankees-Dodgers again. You can't tell that from the first 30 games of the first half of the season. Like, I don't know what this team is going to look like in October. And if history is gives any hints, it's that the bats won't show up like they do in the regular season. So I'm not that excited about the Yankees. I'm glad they're playing well. I'm glad Ben Rice, a young player, seems to be taking that next step in his development and is looking like one of the best players in baseball right now. Outside of that, Jazz Chisholm needs to say less, and they just got to put their heads down and keep trying to get better.
And it's the Phillies are only 6.5 games out of the wild card.
I'm looking forward to that game, Yankees-Phillies, that we
Troy,
might be going to.
They have 9. They have 9 wins, and there's 6.5 games out of the wild card.
I can't fight you, man. They're the worst. Wow. They're the worst record in baseball. I can't fight you. I mean, I want to try to get rid of the.
They're tied with the Mets for the worst record in baseball.
Yeah. It's horrible.
In the division that has the team playing with the best record in baseball.
Pretty much, yeah.
Atlanta.
Football season definitely can't come soon enough for us Philadelphia sports fans. Especially if the Sixers get closed out and Phillies don't turn it around. We do have the Flyers who are in action right now. So do want to wrap it up so maybe we can watch maybe the end of this Flyers game. It looks like they're coming back on Pittsburgh, down 3-2 right now. But Uncle Daryl, thank you for joining the pod, making your podcast.
I appreciate it. Appreciate it. Thank you. It was fun.
Would love to have you back on to talk more Philadelphia sports talk.
Anytime.
Shout out to Zach too. Shout out Zach for producing us tonight.
Shout out Zach.
Yeah, thanks, Zach. Super producer Zach.
Sure. Well, make sure you guys like, subscribe, follow us on social media. Let us know what you think. Stay tuned for more takes on
Daryl, don't log off, Daryl.
A Game 5 recap. Some more Phillies talk. Some more Eagles as we get closer to the season and summer. And NBA playoffs as well. I know we didn't talk a lot about the other matchups going on right now.
Yeah, we got to talk about the Spurs.
Definitely going to get into more of that as we get into the second round coming soon. So stay tuned, guys, and have a great night and a great week. Talk to you guys later.
Powered by Riverside.